Good afternoon, everybody. This is Anjana from Indo-Japan Chamber of Commerce and Industry, along with Sakaguchi-san and Optius, greeting you all today. We would be commencing today's session with a welcome address from Mr. S. Janaki Raman, the President of Indo-Japanese Chamber of Commerce and Industry. He is the founder and chairman of Nuepro Technologies and also helping many startups.
Welcome to the Indo-Japan Online Agri Mission third webinar. Minasan konnichiwa. Agriculture forms near 20% of India's GDP. It's one of the most important employment generators for India. India is bringing out a lot of reforms on the agri sector to enhance the rural economy through higher productivity in cultivation, in commerce, and in logistics. Still, it is estimated that India wastes nearly 50 kg of food per person per year. That's a significantly high percentage for a developing country like ours and even otherwise. In exports, we have 3.1% market share and hold 9th position globally in the agriculture sector. For the size of our country and production, there is no reason why we can't be number one. The roadblock to achieve that position is not only the quality and productivity in cultivation, but in logistics, in cold chain, storage, and transport. So today's seminar of presenting IceBattery is a very, very relevant topic for the audience of this seminar and for our country as such. And we are happy to find Indian entrepreneurs, the entrepreneurs of Indian origin, I'll say, Mr. Pankaj Kar and Mr. Vivek Sharma at Japan, bringing this innovative product to us in India. This is a true Indo-Japan collaboration that's possible.
Today we are honored to, I'm very fortunate and honored to introduce Sri Uday Singh Ji, the chairman of Namdhari Seeds, the chairman of Sadhguru Pratap Singh Apollo Hospitals, and he is the spiritual head of Namdhari Seeds.
Thanks to Mr. Janaki Raman and Shio Sakaguchi-san. I appreciate that this opportunity which has been given to me by Indo-Japanese Chamber of Commerce. Well, I have had a very long journey with my relations in Japan. I think we started our first seed production almost from nothing with the Japanese companies back in 1987. And those relations have grown over the years, and Japan had been one of our biggest customers. We enjoyed the hospitality, we enjoyed the similarities of culture. And I believe that there is a lot in common in both these countries. I have enjoyed and cherished the Japanese culture. I have cherished the Japanese hospitality and vice versa, which you can understand only in Asia, the kind of hospitality and the kind of culture we exchanges, which I've seen during my visits there. You know, coming back to the similarities in agriculture, Japan also has a majority of small farmers, and India also has many small farmers where most of the farmers are less than 1 hectare. What we have learned over the time from them when we went into the seed production, of course, it was known, the Japanese quality production was known in automobiles and electronics and TVs, but the quality management, what we have seen in the plants, there was a lot for us to learn. And we have worked with Indian farmers, with the Japanese, with the smallest farmers. So the detail up to which they had gone, we had counted even the internodes, the number of leaves, and the distance between each node before we set the fruits. We worked how many leaves we need to do the quality seed production in the different crops. You know, going forward, this relation has taught us about the quality of seed production, which we have enjoyed over the time. Going into the fresh production, I have walked through the Japanese supermarkets because my interest is in fruit and vegetables. That is my passion over the years. We have seen how they produce a melon. If they produce a melon, it's a form of art. People talk how one melon can cost thousands of rupees or hundreds of dollars in Japan, how each apple, how each mango will look different from other parts, from the other parts of the world. But if you look at them, how it is produced, it's a form of art, and it's the best quality management you can have. There's something a lot to learn from that display, even in the packing, the fruit packing. And I keep talking to my Japanese friends, and we discuss in a sense of humor that how you can afford this kind of expensive fruits. And they tell me this is used more for gifting and and less for eating ourselves. But in each farm, it's definitely there's a lot to learn in the form of technology. I'm talking about agriculture technology.
First, I'd like to introduce Mr. Pankaj Garg, founder and CEO of Innovation Through Energy, ITE-CO Ltd. He has been working in Japan for over 30 years and has adopted Japanese as his second language. He holds an MBA degree from American Fox Business School and obtained 25 key patents in semiconductor, renewable energy, especially cold chain logistics and preservation fields. He has worked for Intel in an executive position for global product strategy, for marketing, and established a firm position for Intel in Asia, Europe, and the US. Then he has established ITE, Innovation Through Energy, in Tokyo, Japan, in 2007. Another speaker, Mr. Vivek Sharma, Director of ITE. He has a master's degree in computer engineering. He has long been interested in sustainable technology and developed his understanding of the field through several executive workshops, such as Green Power Initiative at Stanford University. He joined ITE after his 26 years at Intel Semiconductor, bringing a wealth of experience in global business development. They will now present IceBattery together. Pankaj-san, Vivek-san, over to you.
A very good afternoon to all of you. And the way we will do this is I will do the presentation in the beginning in English. Pankaj-san will then do the translation in Japanese for some of our wonderful attendees. So thank you to all of you for attending today. We are very proud to be presenting at this esteemed forum. As introduced, our company is called Innovation Through Energy. We are based in Tokyo. We have had a long history of success for the last 12 years, and now we are ready to come to India. So let me tell you a little bit more about what we do and how we might be able to help and how we could partner and strengthen our relationship. We are here to revolutionize the cold chain logistics. One of the downsides, or the world went through the pandemic, one of the silver linings that came out of this one was the emphasis on cold chain. The human race realized without cold chain, medicines and food can get impacted. As you noticed during lockdown, a lot of food was being wasted because we did not have enough farmers or workers to be able to store the food. Similarly, for vaccine transportation. This industry used to be one of the most boring, least innovative industries in the last 100 years. We are still using dry ice. Dry ice is a big component and it is being employed almost everywhere, every day. And it is not helpful for the climate and it is dangerous to use. You have to take a lot of precautions. So we want to make this industry green. We want to make it hybrid. We want to reduce the dependence on dry ice, on fossil fuel, on gas, on petroleum products, and make it a green with a very low carbon footprint. So what we have been building for the last 12 to 14 years is a very simple operating procedure of having ice plates in different kind of containers, from a very small box as 4 liters, all the way to 20 foot to 40 feet containers to LD3 for air cargo. So we cover all forms of transportation, land, air, sea, be it rail, be it road, we cover it all. And that's what we want to come and contribute, especially in the developing nations now. A little bit about our board of advisors, our company strength. We have people from multiple industry segments, of course, from the pharma, of course, from logistics. We also have 3 people from the semiconductor industry, where precision matters, where performance is delivered only when the product is perfect and perfect plus. We have 150 years of collective industry experience among all of us across multiple segments of the market, and we are ready to deploy our product worldwide. There are 2 things which are critical for human civilization: medicine and food. As mentioned earlier by multiple speakers, India is among the top 1 to 3, depending upon which vegetable or which fruit it is in the world, in the top 3 producers in the world. Yet we don't have enough food, or there are price increases all the time. Why is that? A lot of food gets wasted from the farm gate till the retail. There are multiple studies being done over here. What we were told is anywhere between 25 to 35% of the food is wasted. There is one more country called Brazil, again, between 1 and 3 top producers in the world. They are wasting up to 25% of the food that is produced. Why can't we stop that? It's just lack of cold chain. And we will talk a lot more about that as I go forward. The other is the vaccines, the medicines. Pandemic has taught us we need to have vaccine access. It has to be touching over 7 billion people on Earth if we have to go from pandemic to endemic, and hopefully like a flu-like symptom only as we move forward. So to change that, we truly believe, as there will be a lot of deployment on both the fronts for the food and for the medicine, we need to make sure we have a scalable, borderless, and a green technology. And we believe we are one of the few pioneers in this segment, and we are ready to deploy. Just to give you a very brief overview of this market, these are some of the numbers for the Indian market. As you can see, India produces a lot of food, whether it's milk, whether it's fisheries, whether it's meat production. Our ranking is anywhere from 1 to 5. Yet, less than 10% of this transportation is done by cold chain. That's where the investment will be required. Worldwide, we think this is going to happen. Today is around $600 billion or so. Given the investment that will be done by the developing nations, we believe this number could easily double in the next 5 to 7 years. Our technology has been used in Japan for the last 12 years. We have had over 20 million initiations of our product across 200 customers with 0 failure. This is a profile of some of the customers that we have in the different segments: education, food, medical, logistics, services, you name it. And as big customers as ANA, Japan Airlines, Japan Railways, and you can see some of the other names as well. For the last 2 years, we have worked extremely hard with Concur, Container Corporation of India. They run 80% of the commercial rail traffic. We have secured our first order with them. They have decided and committed to standardize their cold chain on IceBattery systems. And we will talk a little bit more about it. We will be deploying our product with them by the end of this year. I'll run a quick video right now so that you understand. Right now, what I walked you through was what the market is, where the product can be applied. Let me now share how the product works.
Refrigeration technology in Japan is not only advancing, it's expanding.
This ever-evolving technology can keep items cool for up to 200 hours without any electricity, allowing for long-distance cold transport. Varieties of this product are available in set temperatures ranging from -35 up to 25 degrees Celsius. The products are now being used by over 100 businesses, including major freight transport companies of both the rail and road variety. This large Japanese air cargo company started using ice batteries 2 years ago, as it allows them to respond to unexpected situations without needing an electric power supply.
We think it's very important to be able to keep products cold for 100 hours or more. That way we don't risk degrading the quality of our cargo, even if something gets held up for a day or two during the shipping process.
I'll show you the effectiveness of the ice battery box and the ice battery plates. We are just placing a glass of water in its liquid state inside a frozen ice battery box. After 45 minutes, as you can see, the water has completely frozen. This is our 20-foot ice battery container. We have fitted this with two things, ice battery frame and the ice battery drain pond. In today's journey, we are carrying organic spinach from Sapporo all the way to Tokyo. This journey will take about 40 hours or so. This is a 1,300-kilometer journey. During this journey, we will maintain the temperature and the humidity. The journey is being conducted on a train primarily, then we will transfer it to a truck. As we open the doors of the container, you can see the freshness of the spinach. This is because we were able to maintain the humidity at over 70% and maintain the water content, hence the taste and the look and feel of the spinach. ITE is also delivering vaccines to many of the prefectures in Japan today. We are able to maintain the temperature of chilled or frozen depending upon the vaccine, and we can do it around the globe. Thank you.
I hope that video gave you some idea about how the product works, and I will discuss that in a little more detail. So what you saw was the ice plate or the ice battery, which can maintain different temperatures. So I'll go through some of the details. But just to give you a preview, just the way the developing nations made a huge call to move from landline to the smartphone or the mobile telephone in the late 90s, I think this is the time before they invest in cold chain today or moving forward, they have to consider a greener technology. And we believe that's what ice battery systems can provide them. So as you saw, the ice plate can go into, it's the same ice plate that can go into the small boxes that you can see at the bottom of the screen, or into a cart, which is 1,000 liters, or in a small body truck, which is a hybrid truck, air cargo, LD3 container, or the 20-foot container. And on the left side, you will see the different colors. This is to maintain, these are for different temperatures from -50 Celsius to +25. So depending upon whether it's frozen, whether it's chilled, the temperature range, we will change the ice battery, but the principle of freezing it, principle of storing it, principle of applying it to the different containers remains the same. We are able to maintain almost up to 10 days of the same temperature, constant temperature, depending upon the ambient temperature. And the other key factor was the humidity. We are able to maintain it well over 70% to 80%. All of you would have seen the special drawer in the refrigerator that you have at your home. That's to maintain the humidity. And that's where the weight comes into play. So the farmers are able to send a better looking product and with a very less reduction of the weight and get a better price for it. When we started this business in 2007, 2008, we focused on the blood, on the vaccines of transportation. We started with the small boxes. We started to move over onto larger boxes. And then we also built hybrid trucks. And over the course of the last 10 years, we now have a complete portfolio of products. And in the last 2 years, we have also added IB Trace, which gives us an opportunity to track our product, where its location, its temperature, its humidity, almost up to 12 different sensors are there that we can track today. A little bit more about this. Vaccines. We all are getting vaccines today, or at least most of us are getting vaccines today. We want to know at what temperature was the vaccine brought from the supplier all the way to the hospital. We also want to drive transparency. We are trying to engage with a lot of governments, especially in Japan, and hopefully in other parts of the world. Why shouldn't we have access or share the information of how the vaccine was transported? Because the efficacy of the vaccine matters, and it matters is determined by the temperature at which it is stored. So that is one of the sensors we have. The other is tampering. What if somebody tries to tamper with a vaccine? Our technology, our sensors are able to tell you if there was an unauthorized opening of either the box or the container at any given point of time. So you will be able to know if somebody had tampered with food or with your cargo at any point. So that gives you an idea about the IB trace that we can provide right from for all our products. This kind of summarizes our offerings. We are multiple products, multiple temperature, multiple size of containers, and be able to track multiple parameters to be able to deliver your cargo. This is a very fine example to show from the left side, from the production center. You can use the IceBattery container, which goes on with the same container because it's an ISO container. It can go on the train, it can go on the road, it can go on the sea. Just to give you one more example, if I can tell you, if you think about the sea transportation where our medicines come from, when they are shifting the container from the body of the truck to the ship, that can take anything 1 hour to 3 hours. At that time, there is no electricity. And we have solved that problem. We have deployed this technology from Osaka to Okinawa for the last 8 to 9 months with a prominent logistics supplier. So we have solved one of the biggest problems where today 95% of the medicines are sent by air, adding to the cost. We can change that by sending it by sea. This gives you an overview of our products. We are in every facet of transportation. It's a complete portfolio. And Udai Singh ji had mentioned about the last mile. We are deploying there quite a bit with our smaller trucks and also with our boxes. Our flagship product is the 20-foot container. This is what we will be launching with Concor. This will be on their trains. This will be on the trucks that you will see. And this can also be used as a portable storage, depending upon the season where the harvest is happening. This graph shows you the red line is the ambient temperature. The blue line at the top is the humidity. And between the two dotted lines, you can see the temperature that we are able to maintain. When the ambient is as high as 38 Celsius, for almost up to 3 days, we are able to maintain the chilled temperature range from 2 to 8 Celsius. And the other unique part about this is the temperature is constant across the entire container. There is no lopsidedness. It's cold here, it's hotter there. It's the same constant temperature and humidity across the entire, either the 20-foot or the 40-foot. While we have been developing this and deploying it, we have not let go of our research. We have been working with the Japanese and the Indian universities to continue our research. One of the examples is about milk. India is still running short on milk. We need more milk. A lot of the milk goes wasted. We have been able to do an experiment with the GB Pant University where using IceBattery products, we were able to extend the shelf life from 24 hours to 48 hours. As you can see in the graph, the microbiological count was maintained below 5 and the freshness remained as is, as we were able to bring down the temperature of the milk. You need to store the milk at 4 Celsius when you're transporting it. We were able to maintain that from the villages, right from where the milk was collected to the transportation, to their big BNCs where you have the chillers. We were able to maintain that. So the research with the Japanese and the Indian universities continue for us. With that, I'll try to wrap it up. Thank you for giving us an opportunity over here. Our products will be in India very shortly. We will be deploying them from November. What we will need from you will be to help us connect with the investor community, with pan-India logistics company, the food companies, the pharma companies, or wherever you think we can help in the technology where it could be applied. With that, I would like to hand it over back to Pankaj to say a few words. Thank you.
So we have a question from Uday Singh sir. What will be the weight of ice packs in LD3 container?
So the LD3 containers is our LD3 containers, that overall weight, including entire, is 270 kilograms. Entire container weight. It's all designed by us.
And let me add one more thing. This weight is very competitive. It's almost a third to less than half of what you have today from the other companies.
So it's a 50% less weight.
So the IceBattery is frozen. To maintain the frozen temperature, you need to freeze it to -35 Celsius. So you will need a deep freezer, industrial strength. But if you're doing it for the chill temperature, you need to freeze it till about -25, which is readily mainstream available freezers. So these ice plates or ice batteries have to be frozen first, depending on what temperature range you need. Then you put it in the container. Could be a small box, could be the 1,000-liter cart, could be the pallet cart, could be the container. So they have to be frozen first. These batteries can be used multiple times. They can be used for over daily usage for up to 2,000 times, which is well over 7 years.
So I have to give one more comment. Sometimes people get confused. IceBattery basically a brand name because it behaves like a battery. If you increase number of IceBattery, it gives you double the hour. If you make 3 times, it gives you triple the hour. So it behaves like a battery. That's the reason it's branded like IceBattery. So sometimes people get confused, or it's like an electric battery. So basically, it's like a normal ice pack, but it's an ultra ice pack, you would say. It is more powerful. It can freeze water in 30 minutes.